Good everyone, Nick Derenzo here. Welcome to my channel again. Today I'm going to make a pretty vulnerable video. I haven't made one of these videos in a while. I made a lot of educational videos, a lot of videos of me giving good advice, but I haven't talked about my story in a good bit. So I kind of want to dive deep into like the turning point for me that is so required for everyone making their recovery. When it comes to making an insane transformation, insane recovery, insane progress within your mindset and how you transform your life and the person you embody. How I always talk about embodying your highest self. Like, where did this come from and how did this form? So, the truth is, guys, like I was never this person. I never had this confidence to be able to talk the way I do or post on social media, help other people until I became the person who could do these things. For the longest time, I was always searching for help. When it comes to research and trying to fix it, like with DPDR, researching is a huge thing. I would research over 5 hours a day, just Reddit, trying to figure out a solution. And the solution was never about researching. It was never about finding the answer, but it was about changing what was in here. It was about completely changing my internal so my external could reflect that. So when we go back to, say, like 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I would smoke literally all day, every single day, every single second of the day. I thought I was going to be smoking weed when I was like 60 years old. I thought I'd be a grandpa that's still smoking. Like, that's how addicted I was to this. And it was all day. It was every day from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed, and I fucking loved it. I loved every single aspect of it. I had no complaints from it, and it was honestly perfect. Like, weed was great for a period of time because it made me comfortable in an uncomfortable situation, one. Number two is it was fun at first. But what happened with me is, I started to experience derealization at points. There was times where I'd experience it. I'd go some time, I'd go like a month, 2 months, and it would just fade away and I'd forget about it. But one time I was at a football practice and it triggered so hard, like borderline bad. Like, I had no idea what it was, but I felt like I was gonna pass out. So I remember going and asking the trainer. I was like, "Could you get me like a snack?" Like, he told me to eat like a snack or something because he thought it was my blood sugar or something. Like, I was about to pass out. Like, I thought I was about to pass out. So I went to the hospital, and I thought I was going to die. I thought my life was over. I thought I was fucked. I was like, "What am I gonna do?" Because that time my visual symptoms were to the max. Like, I'm talking insane visual snow static. I had like the worst visual symptoms, and that was the biggest thing. Because for the longest time I thought I had HPPD or visual snow syndrome, all these things. I thought I just was I was diagnosing myself with things that don't even exist, right? And I thought that these were the problem, but the thing is, the visual snow is a symptom of the DPDR, and I thought it's the anxiety I had from it. If you don't perceive anything to be scary, it doesn't have any impact on your life. So I was freaking out. I had no idea what was happening. I thought I was losing my mind. I was seeing like shapes on the wall. I thought that was hallucinations, but it was just my brain being in this state of overactivity to where you were in that fight or flight and you perceive everything as danger and it thinks it's protecting you. So I would think I was losing my mind. I thought I was going insane. I thought I was literally losing my shit. So when you're in a period of like that like I was in that state for so long, trying to find the solution. I tried every single solution you can find. Every single like medication. I remember taking like Adderall, all these things, trying to fix it. Meditation. I did everything. I went on semen retention for 250 days. I was like, this is it. Helped me so much, but it wasn't enough. I tried so much shit. I tried going out. I tried staying in. I tried working out every day. I tried working out some days. I tried eating insanely healthy. I tried fasting. Everything. I bought like 5 different programs. I read all these books. I like did so much, but I never found the answer until I figured it out. Until I understood what I was doing and why it wasn't working and what I needed to do to reach the full state that I'm in now. Until I understood it, nothing changed. And I say, like, nothing changes if nothing changes, but you need the right change. You need the right information. You need the right process, and you need the right structure. So what I did is one day I was I really, really decided there was no going back. So it was a day, I can't remember the exact day, the exact point. Actually, I can remember. So basically, I was just so gone trying to escape my life. Like, at the point, I just gave up on everything, and I really fell into my vices. You know, I fell back into the weed, even though I hated it. It made me feel worse. The porn addiction got so bad. Like, I genuinely had no control over anything. Like, that destroyed me. Everything was destroying me, and it got to a point where I was done. I was so done, and I literally got on my knees and I prayed to God. I was like, if you can give me one more day. I've said this prayer so many times. I was like, if you could just give me my life back, I would never take a day for granted. But I was like, if you could just give me one more day to where I can just feel normal, just feel emotions, just live my life, I would never take a day for granted ever again. So in that moment right there and then, I decided to dedicate my life to God, to this transformation, to this process, to me becoming my highest self. Now, in that process, I did all those things. I just did all the things that I've tried, but 10x, like to the extreme. Quit all of my vices, quit nicotine, Adderall, weed, porn, everything, all gone. And I went all in. I went all in on everything. I literally woke up at 4 a.m. for 6 months straight. It was everything all in, 100% grind. And I became a fitness coach. I was still making purpose with people. But during that time, I still felt the symptoms. I was still experiencing them. And I didn't know why. And that shit frustrated me so much. Like, it literally destroyed me internally. The fact that I could do so much work, wake up at 4 a.m. every single day, try to be in line with my highest self, do all these things every single day, nonstop, 100%, like every aspect of my life is maximized. I had no vices whatsoever. This is where I quit all social media. I was so locked in, and I was like, why the hell am I not recovering? Why am I not there yet? Why can't I just feel normal? I was like, I don't get it. I've done everything. And that's when I discovered the truth of really what is required. You can't do action without having the internal belief. And you can't act, and you can't belief your way out of it. So I realized that when I would go all in to transform my life, all the actionable steps I was doing were 100% right. The actions were right. But my internal still didn't believe I was already recovered. It didn't believe that I was already there. It didn't believe that, it didn't drop the importance yet. It didn't detach from it. So I was doing everything right, but I was so attached to this feeling. So I really started to dive deeper and deeper into the mind. I figured out about the law of detachment. I figured out about how I read Reality Transurfing, which is a book that completely changed my life, but I realized that you have to detach from the outcome, focus on the input, focus on the process in order to get results. I realized that I had to stop focusing on the outcome. I had to stop focusing on being recovered. And I had to just start focusing on being who I needed to become in the future now. I used to always say, when I'm recovered, then I'm going to feel happy. When I'm recovered, then I can get that job. When I'm recovered, then I can start that business, talk to that girl, do that thing, like go out when I'm recovered. But I didn't realize that in order to recover, you have to already become recovered, meaning you have to live in congruence with the recovered version of yourself. Your actions can be your highest self, but if you don't fully tell yourself all day, I'm 100% recovered, and have your actions reflect that, it's going to be nearly impossible. And there's so many different methods I use with my clients, with myself, that makes me fully believe this and act as if. But you really have to say to yourself, you are recovered. The thing is, guys, your thoughts, my thoughts, planted a seed for my life. Every single thought was just manifesting a life, a day, a circumstance to happen to me. And until I accepted that every single thing that's ever happened to me was my fault and that I did it to myself, nothing changes. So I realized that everything was my fault and that I could choose to change the circumstances that happen to me in the future the moment that I decide to live that life. The moment I decide that I'm recovered, the moment I decide that every single thing that happens to me from now on is going to just be a lingering symptom from the past. Every single symptom that happens, it's just from the past. And I'm going to choose to think positive thoughts. Because, listen guys, I realized so much about the brain, and I understood, like, your brain's job is to perceive and process information. my job was, the only thing I needed to do was to replace that 90% of DPDR thoughts with other information, so it pushed out that negative information. And I realized so much about DPDR. I was like, DPDR is like a breakup. You know, when you're in the state, you feel like it's going to be forever. You feel like this is how your life's going to be. But then you look back and you're like, I know that I was sad. I know that I felt like my life was over. I know that I felt nothing. But I don't know what it felt like. Same thing goes. That's exactly what I understood, because I started to move on from it. I started to put it in the past, and I stopped claiming that as my identity. You know, before I was doing everything right. Semen retention, all my habits were right. Like, I was fucking locked in. Meditating all day, like, waking up at 4 a.m. Like, I was so locked in. I was still changing lives. I had purpose. I prayed. Like, I was doing everything right. As so I thought. But the problem was, my identity still had it, that there was something wrong with me. I really, really believed in this core that I was the exception, that I had this thing wrong with me, that I was this person who can't be cured. I'd watch all these recovery stories, I'd see all these people recover, and I was like, how the hell can't I do it myself? But then I realized that in order for me to become that person, I have to believe. And it's not about being delusional in order to recover, because if you have to genuinely believe that you're not delusional, and the fact that you have to become so confident in who you are to actually recover. The nervous system won't calm down until you show it proof. So you need to have confidence. You need to have confidence, and that's through doing what you say you're going to do. I already had somewhat of the confidence before, but the missing piece was the real belief. Was the real belief. It was that understanding that I am already there. Was the true fucking belief. Was like that I am so convinced that I can control everything, that like it happens to you. And I really had to understand, like, I can control my reality. And that was the biggest thing. I had to become the controller and the cause instead of the effect to situations that were happening to me. Because before I was living as the effect, I was sitting there, like, responding to situations, and I wasn't planting seeds for the life I wanted to live. I was just reacting. When you react, the world is a mirror. It's a mirror of your internal state. So the way, if you look at the physical world, if you look at your symptoms and you react to the symptom, that's changing what is in front of the mirror, and what's in front of the mirror is your internal state. So what's going to be reflected in the mirror is how you perceive the world internally and what you believe in. So in order for me to change, I had to change my internal state, which is what was in front of the mirror. So then my reflection was the life I wanted to live. So you have to embody that person. With that being said, guys, I hope this story had something to take away from. And my message to you guys is to act like the recovered version of yourself, and your brain will catch up. You have to force your mind to adhere to the fact that you were already recovered. And last thing I want you guys to understand is autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is how your subconscious mind perceives who you are based off of the actions you take on a day-to-day basis. You must do everything to a standard of excellence, meaning every single thing is up to the standard of your highest self. The food you eat, that last rep in the gym, when you're running, that last fucking mile, 100%. When everything is up to this standard, your subconscious mind and nervous system have no choice but to adhere to the fact that you're confident. That's how you prove to yourself that you're safe. And what you need to do is have autosuggestion work in your favor. You are already recovered. Have your actions reflect that to back it up. You can't just affirm your way out of it. You need both, heart and mind, right? But you need to fully be so convicted in the fact that you are recovered that it becomes reality. So wake up and tell yourself, I'm recovered. Tell yourself I'm recovered now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Start fucking now. I'm here for every single one of you guys. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, links in the bio. You can connect with me on there. We can work towards a full recovery. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.